We're honored to have the President and CEO of Marathon Gold here, Phillip Walford. Phillip is a professional geologist, so carrying on the theme of having a full deck of geologists on hand. He started his career as an underground mine geologist with Hudson Bay Mining and Smelting, and he steadily moved up the ranks within a number of major mining companies throughout his career. His team was responsible for discovering the Donna Rosa zinc gold deposit in Chile while he was working for LAC Minerals. He's also participated in the commissioning of several underground and open pit mines, including the Williams mine at Hemlo, the San Francisco mine in Sonora, Mexico. Phillip is using his knowledge he's acquired over his career to the Valentine Lake Gold Camp in central Newfoundland. And Marathon Gold is a spin-out of Marathon PGM, which was sold to Stillwater Mining in 2010 for $118 million US. So Phillip, would you like to take the podium, please?
Thank you. So I'm going to, this is about as close as you get in Canada to London is Newfoundland, and here we go. So our project is located in central Newfoundland. It's in an old mining district that had the Buckens mine in, a world-class copper zinc gold mine, as well as the recently shut down Teck Duck Pond mine. We're in a central location. We have no base metals. We're strictly a gold mine. We're a orogenic gold deposit, similar to what you'd find in Timmins and elsewhere in Canada. We've got 2.9 million ounces of gold, a lot of upside, and our average grade's around 2 grams, and most of that is open pit constrained. The Newfoundland government is very mining friendly. They really want to see us develop this property. They've given us different incentives, which are available, of course, to others as well. The work we've done to date is metallurgical testing. We've done an awful lot of environmental work. We have no red flags whatsoever. And we are coming out with a PEA in mid-May. The property is fairly large. It's 240 square kilometers. 30 miles of a ore-bearing, gold-bearing fault is on our property, 30 kilometers, sorry. And really only a small amount of the property has been looked at in any detail at all. We have year-round road access, and we have proximity to existing power. As I mentioned, we're close to 3 million ounces now, and we will be releasing a modest update with the PEA, and that will push us over 3 million ounces. What's significant on this property, in my experience, has been that our hit ratio is very high from the holes that we've drilled. Almost every one of them has gold in it, and that you don't get that everywhere. And as a result of that, our finding cost for a new ounce of gold is about $10, that's all. And that's been very consistent since we started. We do understand the geology very well. It took a few years to do so, and that is what's helping us with the efficiency of exploration. I'm the CEO, and I've got over 40 years of mining experience. The key person is Sherry Dunsworth. She's a PGO, and she's a Senior VP Exploration. She's got a background in structural geology, and this property is a structural geologist's dream. Excuse me. A recent addition is Robert Borst. He's a mining engineer, and he's doing our PEA, and he's pretty well kept it on track. Our share price is hovering around between 90 cents and $1 for too long. We have some warrants coming out shortly, and they're all being exercised as we speak. Our market cap's around 140 million. Most of our shareholders are high net worth individuals or institutions. And the people that follow us are Canaccord, Haywood, RBC, and there's 2 others that are initiating research in the next 2 months. what the real success story here is a combination of two things. One, understanding the geology, and the second one is being able to get money at rates that are now not as dilutive as they used to be. The significant jump in our resource came up in April of 2015, and that was solely from the discovery of the Marathon deposit, which has continued to grow. We also, last year, we had an opportunity to buy back an NSR on the property that was originally held by Noranda, and we were very glad we bought it back because our resources continued to increase. And it was a 3% precious metal and 2% base metal royalty, and that would have a significant impact on the PEA and any operation. The Valentine Lake Gold Camp, as I mentioned, is 240 square kilometers. We have a lot of gold occurrences on the property. Our exploration has been mainly restricted to the Valentine Lake Intrusion, which is in pink and red. And that intrusion is the oldest rock in the district. It's part of the basement that's been rafted up. Along it are a series of thrust faults, and they've broken up along the intrusion along the contact, and they've enabled us gold fluids to come in from the thrust fault, and that's why we have what we have. There's 22 kilometers now of strike between Victory and the Frank Zone that all looks the same. It's one big system, and that's really what you want to see. This is our layout from the PEA. We're looking at open pit with heap leaching low grade, milling high grade, and it fits quite nicely onto our property. The overall resources, we're looking at dividing the open pit up into two categories. One is the mill, which is high grade, and the heap leach, which is low grade. And that way we don't have to have as large a mill, and we cut our capital costs down. It's still cheaper to have the heap leach facility versus a larger mill to handle the kind of tonnages we're looking at. There is some underground opportunity as well, but that requires more drilling. The Marathon deposit's the largest one. It's here in measured, indicated, inferred. You're looking at 1.6 million ounces. This will probably be over 2 million ounces shortly. The deposit itself is rather interesting. There's part of it that we have drilled. The core of it goes down over 1 kilometer, and it's still going down. The open pit part has been fairly well defined. However, at depth, we have potential along strike. In particular, one of the last holes we drilled in the winter, MA18-285 hit very high grades at depth, about where we expected to see it. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us on this deposit. We commonly see gold in the core, and that enhances our metallurgical recoveries. The Marathon deposit in cross-section is over 100 meters wide, usually, and it consists of a series of flattish veins. The core has vertical veins as well, and vertical stringers. Leprechaun's the second, the smaller deposit, and the original deposit that was found on the property by others. And it's got 1 million ounces in it as well. So either of these two could stand on their own. It's not quite as large as Marathon, and it's more potty and not nearly as wide, but nevertheless, it's got a better grade. So all in all, it makes a good pit. We have a lot of upside. We have an area between Leprechaun and Sprite and Marathon that was undrilled in the past. We've drilled half of that now, and we have mineralization in every hole we drilled. Here's our picture from the last press release. The VL holes are all new ones, and they're in an area that has no resources at all. Clearly, we've got a 2-kilometer strike length now with open pit potential to drill off this summer, and we have another kilometer or so between that and Marathon that is untested as well. So we've got lots to do. Our catalysts and time frame, where the PEA is coming out in the second quarter. We're already putting out the budget on the preliminary feasibility study, and we're arranging metallurgical testing and environmental work as well. So we're on track for the next step, which will be the preliminary feasibility study. And just to wrap up, we're a 3 million ounce gold deposit. We have no partners at all by choice. We are in a top mining jurisdiction in Canada. We have a proven geological model. We have high metallurgical recoveries. We have no deleterious elements. We have no environmental red flags after 7 years of study. And a small bit of drilling gives us big rewards. So we expect the PEA, as I mentioned, to be finished and actually released in 2 weeks or so. And we're fairly attractively priced relative to our peers. Thank you. Questions or no?
Yeah, I just have a question. Yeah, do we have any questions? Yeah, sure. Philip, maybe if you can just kind of highlight for the news flow for the next few months, what's going to happen the rest of the year?
Sure. Well, we have a new resource coming out on the Marathon deposit in the next week or two, as well as the PEA. We will be resuming drilling at about that time, about mid-May. And we expect to be drilling all the way through the year, and we will have a new resource by the end of the year. So we've got a fairly aggressive program. We're also doing advanced metallurgical work to optimize our metallurgy, and those results will come out over the year as well.
Excellent. So stuff for investors to pay attention to. Thank you very much, Philip.